Ron Scott here. Today we're going to be testing out two microphones. My venerable Audio-technica AT875R shotgun mic that I've had for a little over a year, and my new Rode VideoMic Pro, which I just got. We've got one mic on one channel and the other on the other channel, so look at the captions to see which one that you're hearing. We're here in my living room, which is relatively live, and I'm about 8 feet away from the microphones. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their party. Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dogs. Calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. Okay, now we've stepped outside in my backyard by the pool where we've got a little more background noise. There's an air conditioner going on behind the camera, and we're going to try the same voice test again. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their party. Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dogs. Calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. Okay, one final test. We've got some music playing in the background, and we're going to see which mic does a better job of rejecting the background sound. Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their party. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their party. Calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. Calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. Well, after looking and listening to the tests of the two microphones, I decided it'd be a good idea to put the Rode VideoMic Pro on the camera on which I intend to use it, which is my Nikon D800. So I've put the Rode VideoMic Pro on the D800, and I've also flipped on its high-pass filter. I noticed in the tests that I did previously that there seemed to be a little bit more bass coming out of that microphone, so I thought I'd see if this would make it match the Audio-technica mic a little bit more, which I have mounted on the Canon X-A10. So here we go. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their party. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their party. Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. Calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. Calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. Okay, and again, we're back outside here. We've still got an air conditioner going in the background there behind us. Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. Pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dogs. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dogs. Calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. Calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. After listening to the tests of the two microphones, it seemed to me that the Rode VideoMic Pro might have a little bit higher noise floor than the Audio-technica did, maybe by as much as 5 dB. Now this could be attributed to the circuitry inside the D800. DSLRs are not known for having stellar audio circuitry. So I'm going to take advantage of a little feature on the Rode mic by recording with it set to a plus 20 dB output. Right now you're listening to it at 0 dB output. This is the same as I record all the tests. So I'll say one of the phrases, calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. And now we have the Rode VideoMic Pro set to output at plus 20 dB, which lets us reduce the gain in the D800 down quite a bit. And I've tried to match the audio output levels. Calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. You may be wondering what I'm doing standing here in my closet. I wanted to find the quietest place in my house, which is difficult since I live here in an urban environment. And I wanted to really test to see which microphone between the Audio-technica and the Rode VideoMic Pro has the lowest noise floor. So I've got the Audio-technica AT875R on the left channel of the Canon X-A10, and I've got the Rode VideoMic Pro on the right channel. What I'm going to do is I'm going to stop talking and we're just going to record room tone. And just for grins, pack my box with 5 dozen liquor jugs. The quick brown fox jumped over the lazy dogs. Now is the time for all good men to come to the aid of their party. Calibrate the crucibles on the Bitiver and invert the strobofax on the Oscadine. Malibrate the crucibles on the bitiver, and invert the strobe effects on the Oscodyne. My overall conclusion about these tests is that both mics sound very good. Enabling the high-pass filter on the VideoMic Pro helped remove some of the excessive bass that I heard and made it sound more like the Audio-Technica mic. However, I do conclude that the VideoMic Pro has a higher noise floor than the Audio-Technica, as evidenced by my last closet tests. Here is a more analytical view of the room tone audio in SoundForge. The audio from the Audio-Technica mic is on the left and the Rode mic on the right. You will notice about a 5 dB difference between the two, with the Audio-Technica being the quieter. I also concluded that changing the gain on the VideoMic Pro from 0 dB to 20 dB did not affect the noise level. That being said, I will still keep using the Rode VideoMic Pro in my kit for use on my Nikon D800 and continue to use the Audio-Technica on the Canon XA10. I could use the Audio-Technica on the Nikon D800, but this mic requires phantom power, which the D800 does not provide, and would require something like the Juiced Link Riggy Micro, which costs nearly twice as much as the VideoMic Pro does, and would add extra gear to my rig, something I don't want to do. In conclusion, the advantages of the VideoMic Pro outweigh any perceived shortcomings in audio quality, which are indeed minimal. This mic works well with my Nikon D800. It is light, compact, and self-powered, and will not require me to bulk up my run and gun kit with extra equipment. I'm Ron Scott. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this video, please like and share.